All right, this is a practice match. I'm going first. Good hand. See how much pressure the opponent puts on me. Hopefully they'll leave me alone for a bit. Ooh, Dark Ritual. I mean, I'm not going to counterspell the Dark Ritual. Though, of course, there are many Dark Ritual turns where I'm left wishing I did. It just doesn't seem like it could possibly be right. Sarcomancy is not high impact enough for me to counter. Especially when they have 2 mana. Oh, man. Yeah, 3 1s. That's that's the worst possible combination here. And yeah, this is going to be one of those I wish I countered the ritual situations. Oh my god, 3 Sarcomancy. That was awesome. That was really hilarious. Anyway, is it possible for me to get out of that? Yeah, Swords to Plowshares will help. I want to try to make my land drop, but on the other hand, if they play another threat next turn, I think I don't know. I don't want to not have counterspell up. Maybe I'm being too conservative here. See how it plays out. I would have loved to have hit my land drop there, but then again, the main reason why I wanted to is because that would let me play the swords, which is of course the card I drew that the land would be instead of. So anyway, I just do what I can with what I have. That is Nantuko Shade. Yep, I will counter it. Hopefully they're out of gas soon. Main phase, accumulated knowledge. Oh, yeah, those are not the best draws, huh? I'm not liking my chances. Yeah, looks like they clicked through their attack. That was lucky, but I feel like it's not going to be enough. Yeah, I want to lead with accumulated knowledge. Come on, land. Nope. Yeah, even with that misstep, I don't know. It feels like I'm getting run over. Probably just, I don't know, unfamiliarity with the sensitivity of Magic Online. You really just can't click the wrong thing. But yeah, accumulate knowledge number 3. Hopefully that gets me out of it. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I just have to end the turn. That was pretty funny. I'm gonna get rid of Mox Diamond and Second Portent. I feel like I still want a Mox Diamond because I don't want to be bottlenecked at 1 off-color card per turn, and I really don't want to need to get my off-color mana from City of Brass. What a weird game it's been. All right, well, here we go. I'm going to play Meddling Mage. I'm going to name some kind of removal, I guess, so that I can trade instead of soaking up a removal spell. It's probably Snuff Out or Smother. I guess I'll just guess Snuff Out. If I were building a deck like that, I'd probably have more copies of Snuff Out. All right, no end of turn Smother. That's encouraging. They have a lot of land. That could be my way back in. And yeah, this is where I would be dead if they didn't misstep earlier. So I guess for testing purposes, I want to keep that in mind. All right, how am I going to do this? I think I want to offensively portent them. Hmm. Not the best cards. Really what they need is just a creature. So even though Duress is pretty useful, I'm just going to let them have it. And I'll use the other... I mean, I guess I could save it and then get rid of the other stuff later. That actually might not be bad. I think I actually will do that. So I'll play Meddling Mage, I'll name Snuff out again. Worked last time. And then maybe I'll just portent them again next turn. Alright, here we go. Untap. Play the Dryad. Yep, that's getting shuffled. Any order? Yes. And end. Another land. Looks like that portent worked out all right. What do we have? Cabal Therapy. Fortunately, they're in a position where they really don't want to sacrifice a creature with my life total so low. Their creatures have, even just a 2/2 has massive value. Wonder what they're going to name. Psychotog. I don't actually play Psychotog because I have my alternate build with Gaia's Blessing, but Psychotog would be really good on defense, and it seems like a totally reasonable card to name. Yeah, I don't need that. Huh. I'm going to try for a land again. Is that the one I want? No, it isn't. There we go. All right. I am just going to name Snuff Out again so that I can lose one of them in combat. An argument could be made for naming Cabal Therapy, but like I mentioned, they want to keep their creatures. I mean, yeah, that zombie, it's like 2/3 of my life total. But yeah, train it for the Menly Mage, that makes sense. Even though they're taking 2 damage a turn, I mean, they need to keep me from overwhelming them with my board presence. Drinker of Sorrow, that's a pretty big one. He just swords it though. Kick it off with a Gush. And yeah, they're fully at 0 cards now, so they didn't have Snuff Out. They were just that flooded. I mean, at the end of the day, it works out either way. All right, give them 5 back, but I'm attacking for a lot, especially when taking the Sarcomancy damage into account. Now any creature they draw will have to jump block. It's basically over unless they have like Drain Life or Corrupt or something. All right. Yeah, it's interesting when there's a clear mistake that leads to a win, because on the one hand, it feels like it doesn't really count, but then on the other hand, when you're playing in the league or even the playoffs, like, you know, that stuff happens. So it is ultimately a real factor. And it's also notably something that becomes more likely as the complexity of not just the deck the person is playing, but the combined complexity of both decks increases. I mean, something like that with a simple misclicking of F6 or whatever doesn't immediately look like something that could come from complexity, but I mean, people are more prone to zone out when their mind is on other stuff, so I feel like it all sort of counts. Anyway, it really doesn't matter. Time to focus on the sideboarding. Do I want Earthquake or do I not want Earthquake? That is not an easy question to answer. Oh, actually, I'll take out a Probe. They seem to be playing their hand out pretty quick. I'll get rid of the Probe, but I'll keep 1 because I do like the digging power. And if I catch them with cards, it's just completely devastating. So, last chance to change something. Would I want Armageddon more? No, that doesn't make any sense. I wonder if they have Dystopia. Like, I don't have that much stuff to kill, but it does constitute basically all my creatures. Yeah, I'm a little worried about that. I'm going to board out the other Probe. 1 Ray of Revelation should be fine. I'm not going to go as far as 2. Alternatively, Annul counters Sarcomancy. But I'm on the draw. Maybe I'll consider switching later. All right, opponent is on the play, which is not going to make it easy for me. I'm going to keep this hand. It's not great, but I really can't send it back. Oh man, Dark Ritual. See how bad it's going to get. Gloom. Yeah, that's a point in favor of a null after sideboard if we get to game 3. Unfortunately, I can't Ray of Revelation it unless I pay 5 mana, which is not easily done. This is interesting, though. Do I want the second accumulated knowledge? I feel like I probably do. Yeah, I mean, they did use their Dark Ritual not to put power on the board, so I'll layer them this way so that I don't get 2 for 1 from a Cabal Therapy and pass a turn. Yeah, my Meddling Mage is not looking the greatest. Follow-up is 2 power for 2 mana, which is a real threat, especially because I can't block it, but ultimately not that bad. It's a good thing I have red removal. Okay, so yeah, I do want to shuffle away that island. I'll just play the Strand and end. First damage coming through. Oh no, is it Dark Ritual into Hatred? That would be pretty bold against against two islands. I think that's what they have. Yeah, I mean, it would have killed me. Well, not necessarily, because I could have maybe gushed into Counterspell, but it does seem more correct to duress me ahead of it. So yeah, I need to find a Counterspell or I'm going to die. Maybe I'm reading into it too much, but it really seems like that's what's going on. All right. As much as I'd like to accumulate knowledge for 2, Portent will give me more visibility. And I can't quite afford Meddling Mage on Hatred. Hey, there it is. Nice. 1, 2, and 3. No shuffle. Yeah, I'm going to let those shuffle away. And I will discard the plains and end the turn. You know, maybe they don't actually have hatred. Maybe they were just jumping the gun on playing duress when they actually hadn't moved to the post-combat main phase. I really just can't let this unblockable creature resolve. I'm just going to counter it, and hopefully I can keep some good momentum going. I wish I had Probe right now. That's not looking like a good cut at the moment. Meddling Mage would be a great card to board out. Would I want the Ray of Revelation? Do I want to unlock my stuff? Yeah, I probably do. It's not super efficient, but I don't know. I should probably do it. Yeah, I'll not shuffle them away. Yeah, hopefully my I'm really just banking on my hatred read being wrong now, which is, I guess, kind of funny. That's an inconvenient card. Though, what's great is that I can have a shadow blocker and sort of neutralize both of them with Dominate. Yeah, this will be a concession to the possibility of hatred. Just going to take this right now so they can't... Oh, actually, yeah, I was thinking power for some reason. I don't think I've casted a Dominate before. Anyway, that's, I suppose, what testing is for. And I would still need to do it before attacks anyway. Another Gloom. That's hilarious. Oh, man. I do like that it has to attack, so they can't sit around and wait for Smother or something. Yeah, my Melee Mage, my Ray of Revelation are both 8 mana. And Gloom is really brutal. I'll take the Blessing. I want Counterspell, Dominate, Gush. Hey, that's a white card I can afford. I'll have 7 mana for it next turn. And I can almost play the 2s. Ooh. That's a menacing creature. Maybe I should have more Dominates. Two might be a good number. They're just so much better with Mox Diamond than they are on a Blue Dreadnought, where they're still pretty solid. I think they're just actively good with a Mox in the picture. Funeral Charm. Yeah, that I can deal with. Do I want to lose the Ray and just settle for getting rid of 1 Gloom? Or do I want to lose one of my white spells that, you know, is the entire point of getting rid of Gloom, but then be able to get rid of Gloom completely? I think I'm going to discard the Ray. Plus, it's always great to discard a flashback card to a Funeral Charm. Alright, taking care not to misclick. Here comes the Nantuko Shade. Pump number 1. And number 2. Time to take it out. I'm gonna opt. I'll take the counterspell gladly, and then I'll just end the turn. Another Gloom. Is this it? Am I just okay with never playing another white spell, or do I want to spend one of my counterspells here? What do I have? We got 7 white spells left in the deck, one of which is in my hand. That's, what, 1 in 5 of my cards. Yeah, I mean, I have 2 counter spells. I'll counter it, as much as I don't like it. They're really putting me on the edge of whether it's worth it or not. And here I could play the mage, but I'd rather keep the counterspell up and then Ray of Revelation. Yeah, that can resolve. That needs to be countered. I'm going to just play this mage and just name some removal or something. Snuff out again. Yeah. I haven't seen any removal, so I'll just take a guess and then jump block with it. Well, not jump block, trade. Yeah, black aggro decks can draw pretty badly in the mid to late game, like Dark Ritual and whatnot. Redundant discard. Hopefully I can keep myself alive and pull ahead. Yeah, that was not a redundant piece of discard. I am sad to see my Swords to Plowshares go. I really love Funeral Charm. I think it's a great card. That was a good draw. Also, Gloom is really high impact. It's just, I don't know, it's a card that I don't see a lot of. Probably because Dystopia is around. Which also works against green stuff, and, you know, just in sideboard space is limited, but in this game, Gloom has been a bit of a pain. And it's not even a very white deck. Yeah, I'm just gonna ice. Awesome. All right, now I'm in a good spot. Yeah, one of these days I'm actually gonna flashback that that Ray of Revelation. Not in a big hurry. I'll put in 2 more counter spells and the other blessing. I just love being able to blessing recycle the business cards in this deck. That needs to be countered. Okay, this time the plan is to ray one of the glooms. Alright, yeah, looks like their deck has stopped feeding them action. Off the gloom. Earthquake. I want to name, I guess, Sarcomancy. That's the one they haven't played any of yet. I mean, it's not a super high impact card, but I don't know, maybe I should have named Drinker of Sorrow. Actually, yeah, I probably should have named Drinker of Sorrow. That would have made more sense. Because Melee Mage can still answer Sarcomancy by just being a 2-2. Oh, there we are. Maybe I can take the initiative a bit. And actually, yeah, even though I like Funeral Charm a lot, it is pretty surprising that it's still in against a Gush deck. This doesn't really seem like the place for it. But then again, I don't know what the other options were. And it is a helpful card in the sense that there's a kind of a high floor for it. You can always just 1-for-1 with it no matter what. Yeah, being able to knock out an early Dryad with it would be extremely helpful. Okay, yeah, looks like the window is closing for the opponent here. Yep. Yeah, I don't really need to counter that, but I will anyway. And actually, I'll just hold that in my hand. No, are they just dead to Earthquake? I think they're just dead to Earthquake. I'll attack. And yeah, I have a lot of lands. I'm just gonna kill them with Earthquake now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And a red. There we are. Earthquake for 7.